All right, a quick recap of the commodities. First of all, DXY, always cover the US dollar first. It's just been going up, right? The last 3, 4, 5 trading days. So this big, pretty much engulfing bullish candle. Then we broke out this descending, and we've still been hovering near these highs. Probably might even drop down. We'll see, but no longer bearish. If it drops, it should even bounce a bit more. Point is, dollar has been relatively strong. Now, I bring that up because when we start to look at the first commodity I cover, copper, remember the market's been going down pretty much non-stop, at least this week. So market's been flushing, dollar's been going up. Those two factors combined should send copper flushing down. Instead, copper's been holding this 355 zone, this clear support. So copper's very strong. Copper's very strong. If the dollar goes down, that should help copper. And if the markets bounce, that should help copper. At the moment, the opposite's been happening. So copper, very strong. And actually, for those reasons, I reckon we'll probably break out this descending for one more rise. And then we'll see what happens. But for me, short, medium, and long term, I'm bullish copper at the moment. Obviously, long term, I'm always bullish. It's just short term, very impressive. Natural gas, exactly what I thought and hoped. That little curl, I thought maybe it might come down to 3, but it should bounce and go up. That's exactly what we did. I mean, without going down to 3. So we curled the next day, actually broke out of this descending, just up, 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 up. At the moment, we're all the way up here. Let's see how we close. The close is more important than intraday action. But for me, beautiful, just what I want to see. Let's go up to 4, maybe fill the gap at 4.4. So natural gas, absolutely amazing, looking great today. Oil, it was a bit weird after this drop here. And now it's sort of stabilizing, 84-ish, finding support. Let's see. It needs a bit more time, It's not just price, it's also time. The element of time comes into consideration. So let's see. After a couple more trading days, do we start to test 91 or do we start to go test and maybe flush 82? You need to just give it some time. If I had to make a decision, I would say maybe it's going to go back up. Okay, the trend is your friend. The trend is up, and we have lots of catalysts, geopolitics, etc. And also, it's been hovering here despite the dollar strength. So maybe we start to go test 91 again. Just maybe it needs a couple more days, and obviously we're Friday today, so maybe middle of next week we start to test 91. Just to guess there. Uranium down. I think that it's the markets that are delaying what otherwise would be a move back up to 28.5 and then, the 30s, 31.5, which is good for me because I'm not in it and I'd love to get in it. So, and at the moment, the markets are collapsing, but you can see, and this is something I've said several times, uranium is outperforming the market. So even if you get a market collapse, you're probably going to get uranium down here. I mean, it depends how much of a collapse. I mean, it'd be great if that market collapse could start to disrupt this ascending support. And then, people like me who missed the boat can jump in. I'd probably start going in different tranches here. But what a wonderful long-term position this would be. And actually, specifically the miners, some of the miners, some of the senior miners in particular, I don't want to start playing around with the juniors because we know what that's like in the metal sector. So I'd probably get what's it called, Cameco, maybe 1 or 2 others. But anyway, uranium very, very strong. It's just the market seems to stall what otherwise would be a natural move up. Gold and silver looking good. I did say maybe we start to test 1950. There was that one day we tested 1953, which is the same as 1950. That's pretty much coinciding with this high over here. Perfect. But that was it, and now we've just been rising despite the dollar going up, despite the markets going down. Obviously, we're going up because the market's going down to some degree, but sometimes we trade in tandem. But gold is looking good, and maybe we do start to test 2000. Is it today? Is it next week? But at the moment, it looks like it actually wants to go higher. So that's good. Although, and I'll cover silver real quick, but, for me, watching gold and silver go up is nice, but if the miners aren't really following, it's really not nice. I'd prefer gold and silver to go down if the miners are going down. And I've covered the reasons for that. It's obvious, really, if you're invested in the underlying in the miners, it's better to see the actual underlying metal go down whilst your stocks go up. Silver is just holding this ascending. So this ascending, I'm keeping it in place. I still think it's relevant. nowhere near as strong as gold. I mean, if it was equaling gold, we'd be all the way up here right now. We'd be at 23.7. So silver's underperforming gold, and the miners are underperforming gold also. So gold is winning. It's more of a safety trade at the moment. So that's it. And let me just cover real quick the GDX and GDXJ. They flushed again yesterday with the markets to some degree, but there was some good buying. It outperformed the markets, which is good because the metal's doing well. But it was some good bouncing on support. So on the next level of support, as you can see, so the miners have been weak, but they have been outperforming the markets. GDX also, look at this bounce on the descending, beautiful. So on their own respective support lines, I think they did a nice bounce. And by the way, Newmont, that I wanted to slap after this move down here, kind of made up for it. So I may have to buy some flowers. It did have bad earnings, like it missed or something, but it went up. And for me, that's great. It's good to see something go up on bad news. That's like a sign of reversal of a bottom, actually. And to be honest, when you zoom out, it pretty much is at a bottom. So I'm very happy to hold. And Newmont's my heaviest holding, although just by a bit. To be honest, the amount it's gone down and the amount I've already gotten in miners like gold and Agnico Eagle. Agnico, I actually added to yesterday off this support. Now they're all kind of worth the same. Newmont just a little bit more, but these are my top three. But yeah, they've been underperforming the metals, as the miners have, as silver has. But it wasn't the worst day. Look, mix kind of down 1 or 2%. Some of them up a little bit, up 1 or 2%. That's okay, given how absolutely destructive things have been in other stocks. I mean, look at Apple, new lows. Since this resumed downtrend. Microsoft, look at that bearish engulfing gap fill, despite good news. Meta, okay, good bounce, but otherwise going down. Google's just had horrible news. I mean, look at this. You got the big Magnificent Seven finally rolling over. And by the way, NVIDIA, I'm getting a bit off topic, but that short is absolutely wonderful. I covered 2 lots of that, and I got more to go. But NVIDIA, finally, the head and shoulders is clear now. Not as clear when you're going all the way up here, and this bounce up here scared me, but I held my short, and I'm totally in the money. And I think it's going to go lower. I'm looking at the next places to cover. But yeah, it's just to say some of the big stocks are going down. So let's not be totally upset that the miners are not going up as much as as gold is. Everything's relative, and if you're in the big stocks, it's not been a good week. So you got to be grateful. Anyway, good luck today.